Hello guys, welcome back into the news. I just want to say, first things first, this is my first time ever doing the news without coffee. So if I seem a little different, that could explain it. I also want to say that if you want this shirt, stay tuned to nojumper.com or any of our social media at nojumper, at Adam22, etc., because it will be out for a short window of time soon. Let's get into the news. Oh, and also just in case you didn't notice, we have a bunch of white girls dancing to Blueface Tatiana right here. It's available on the No Jumper Instagram. We don't have the song playing, but this is evidence that white people can have a profoundly negative impact on pretty much anything they touch, mostly white women. Don't blame me. Don't blame me, MGK, or G-Eazy. Okay, so before we get into today's 6ix9ine clickbait, let's talk about a couple of the new high-profile music videos that have dropped, namely Lil Peep, McConan, and Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy. They dropped a new track. The song is called I've Been Waiting, and it's actually McConan's second collaboration with Peep. They apparently have a whole project that's gonna be dropping soon. It's not a music video, they just put out the audio on YouTube, but you should definitely go check that out. Rest in peace to Peep. Shout out to McConan, it was dope getting to see him the other day. And I just also want to say that Pete Wentz kills it. Next up, Lil Skies has released his first music video in a while. This is apparently one of the big rollout singles off of his new album that's coming out soon. This song is called Name in the Sand, and it basically features him getting everybody really fucked up at some sort of prom or high school dance. Everybody's dead by the end of the video. It's actually a really different sound from Skies. Like, he's gone in a very, very different direction. We haven't seen Skies that much in a while, and he's been pretty open about the fact that he's been depressed, but it's good to see him putting on new stuff. Go watch the Name in the Sand video. Okay, and then our boy Lil Pump, he's got a new one. He's got a new one called Racks on Racks that's out. It features him out in the desert. He's got a bunch of hot chicks. He's got all kinds of weird stuff going on. It's going to be very interesting to see what Pump does on his new project, the Harvard Dropout. Is he going to go in any sort of different directions? I'm going to be honest, Racks on Racks is kind of more of the same, as well as his previous song Butterfly Doors. He hasn't made any like huge stylistic deviations or anything like that, but much respect to Pump. Go check out his new shit. Okay, on to the serious stuff. Drake was photographed in a McDonald's in Canada. You got a couple of huge security guards around him, and people were saying that he gave a couple of the cashiers at the McDonald's $10,000 each, which sounded pretty incredible, but also sort of sounded like the kind of thing that Drake would definitely do. But reports are coming out that the whole story was cap. We are just surrounded in a bubble of fake news all the time, huh? I feel like we're just always getting fooled on here. So Drake, great guy, great artist, great musician, but apparently not coughing up 20 grand for the staff at McDonald's. Oh, and even more fake news that got us. An article came out today about that incredible Instagram egg that got more likes than Kylie Jenner. I made a video and the clickbait said the Supreme Patty was the brains behind this infamous egg. Well, it turns out that the media is saying that he's not. A new article posted by The Atlantic says Supreme Patty's not actually the brains behind the operation. They don't really know who it is either, but they are aware of the fact that Fuck Jerry, the network that is in charge of the egg now, apparently, Fuck Jerry reached out to Need to Impeach, which is a group basically that advocates against the president that's opposed to right-wing causes. Fuck Jerry reached out to Need to Impeach and basically told them that their idea was that the egg was going to hatch and that it was going to be accompanied by a sign that says impeach Trump. Now, Need to Impeach turned down this fabulous idea, but it is pretty interesting to note that this is how they were planning on using the egg, by basically just making a viral fortune off of it. Who knows? Now that this information has been leaked, it's like, if they do sell that real estate to somebody else, who really is gonna want that now? I don't know, but either way, they're saying the Supreme Patty wasn't in charge of it. I don't really know if I believe it either way, because me and him did have a conversation about it, but I guess he didn't specifically say that he did, but he didn't say that he didn't. I don't know. All that you need to know is that this egg is apparently going to become leftist propaganda, which I'm okay with. Next story. Kid Buu was out in Hawaii with Blac Chyna, and apparently he was beating the shit out of her. At least that's what TMZ says. We're not really sure exactly what happens, but the cops were called and they were alerted to the fact that there was a domestic dispute going on, and it seems that Blac Chyna has decided to get revenge upon Kid Buu by going back to her old flame, YB and Almighty J. Apparently she wanted to get with a real rapper, which actually, to be fair, Kid Buu does have a new video up on WorldStar and it has over 300,000 plays. However, that dislike dislike bar is looking a little rough. You got 18,000 dislikes as opposed to 17,000 likes, and who knows how many of those likes are real. And to his credit, Kid Buu did post a video that he then deleted to his Instagram in which he denied that he beat up Blac Chyna, but of course, obviously, that's what he's going to say either way. Why are we still giving this guy attention? I don't know. Soulja Boy apparently is not done beefing with Famous Dex. He posted up on his Twitter showing off a new shirt design. And yes, that's him harassing Famous Dex, telling him to go get his chain back. Apparently, Soulja Boy still wants all the smoke, or at the very least, he wants to monetize what smoke he can get. And we're really not sure about how Famous Dex feels about this. I feel like he's been kind of quiet about the whole thing since they had that infamous IG Live conversation. But that being said, Famous Dex did drop a new video on WorldStar today. So if you want to see what he's got going on, doesn't really respond to the Soulja Boy stuff as far as I can tell, but there is a new video. You should go check. Okay, a couple more stories before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Young Dolph apparently not very happy with his label situation. That's right, I said his label situation. Now, Young Dolph has always made a big thing out of saying that he's not signed, that he never really signed. Well, he posted yesterday and he said, "The record label been bullshitting. They won't let me drop any new music. I knew I should have never signed this fucking deal. So now that it's out that I'm not some big independent superstar and I've signed 4 deals like everyone else, I wonder if all the rappers are gonna stop hating now. Sorry for shitting on you guys, knowing damn well I got a major deal. I have a confession. I signed 2 deals in 2018 and I signed a deal in 2015. I'm gonna leak this motherfucker. Fuck him." Anyway, the 2015 deal, was that a deal to Gucci Mane? For a lot of you out there, like myself, the first time you ever heard Dolph was on that one mixtape that he did with Gucci. So I'm not really sure, but it is kind of interesting because a lot of artists like to keep up the idea that they aren't going to sign, that they're never, ever, ever going to sign. It's kind of cool to see Dolph finally acknowledge that he has been signed. To be totally honest, I knew, like I had heard people in the industry talk about the fact that he was low-key signed, and there's a lot of other artists out there. Artists who sign deals then don't say anything about it for a couple of years and then finally admit that they're signed. So I guess Dolph just got so frustrated waiting for the label to put his stuff out that he just had to say something. So now it's finally out and Dolph can't talk about being independent anymore, but who cares, right? Okay, so here's what you came for with the clickbait. So yesterday it came out that 6ix9ine was allegedly snitching. There was a TMZ article that came out that says that not only is he acknowledging that he ordered a $10,000 hit on Chief Keef's life, but that he will be testifying against the person who actually fired the shots. Now, this was met with some amazement by the hip-hop fan base, particularly Meek Mill, who posted this tweet right here. "That's a shame. When I came home, everybody was like, he got some real dudes backing him. I was like, how? Y'all better stop running behind rappers acting like y'all ready to throw y'all lives away over some stupid shit. I seen this coming a while ago." Now, I suppose when you're analyzing this sort of situation, when you see a news story come from TMZ and it's got some explosive headline like this, it makes you wonder, is this as it seems? Like, TMZ are considered a pretty valuable source. Like, they're not going to just post something unless they've done a fair amount of research and they seem to have a pretty good idea that it's true. But on the other hand, it's TMZ and they're not being held to the same journalistic standards as like a Wall Street Journal or a New York Times. And even the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, they have been involved in all kinds of shit about fake news over the past few years. They report things that end up not being true. So should we take TMZ's word for it? Well, 6ix9ine's lawyer has actually spoken out. He posted a video to his Instagram in which he claims that the whole story is made up. Now, of course, as the lawyer, his job is to protect the client, and it might be in his best interest to say that the story is made up, even though the story might not be made up, but he does make a really good point. If 6ix9ine ordered the hit, then why would 6ix9ine be the one testifying and taking a deal? If anything, the dude who actually shot the gun is the one who's most likely going to testify against 6ix9ine, and then he will be the one getting the deal. The lawyer says this, and I gotta admit that it makes a lot of sense. Like, there's a reason why cops don't go to the person who's smoking crack and like form a big case against them. They go up the ladder and they find the guy who's selling the crack, and then ideally they find the guy who's selling the kilos, and they base their case around that. I mean, if 6ix9ine was really the ringleader, then why would he be getting a deal to snitch on the guy that he paid to try to shoot Chief Keef? It doesn't really make a lot of sense, I have to admit, and the fact that TMZ ran with it kind of says a lot. Myself personally, will 6ix9ine snitch? Will he not? not snitch? I don't really know. But I guess the interesting thing about this whole situation is that if the cops know that this dude Kuda was the one who shot at Chief Keef, then 6ix9ine's charges are probably going to be way, way worse. Because if the guy Kuda has anything to say about 6ix9ine, or if the state just feels like they have enough evidence to make the case that 6ix9ine did pay this guy to shoot at Chief Keef, and they're going to bury 6ix9ine under that fucking jail if that's really the case. I don't know that that's necessarily the case, but all I can say is that this trial is going to be absolutely ridiculous over the next 6 months, year, however long we're going to be dealing with this. It's going to be a lot longer than 6 months, sorry. Okay, and so just like that, we are done with the news. Like I said, keep an eye on the NoJumper.com online store if you do want this shirt. We're also going to have it on lighters and hats and stuff like that. Yeah, and so if you guys are still bored, if you're still interested, head on over to the No Jumper channel because there's a whole bunch of content that we've dropped recently, including a really dope video with Riff Raff. We just put out an interview with Queen Key, put out an interview with 10Cat666 and Wi-Fi's Funeral talking about X-A-Lot. That was good. Oh, and you might even want to go read this article that just came out on GQ. They interviewed me. They interviewed like Juice WRLD, Trippie Redd, a whole bunch of different people. So you might be into that too. Hope you guys enjoy this. If you did, smack a like on this and drop a comment. I will see you guys all very, very soon, possibly on live stream. Keep an eye for me.